We'll be inviting Ben from AI Midis, Mauran from Vanilla. Am I missing someone? Rob, you already know him well enough. The guy with the gold finger toe. His gold finger is the toe. You can already see that. And Mustafa. Hey, please come on. So guys, a quick introduction about the panel that it is now. We do a TDeFi panel in the Agora event with the current participants of the cohort. These are ventures that have either closed their, like they are either raising or are close to closing. It's mostly about the problems that they're trying to address, mostly on their way to adoption. Like I've already introduced in the opening of the day, that TDeFi aims to incubate and accelerate projects that are not essentially, as I call it, farming shit to farm poop and then, doing rounds with the same kind of stuff. We are building up an ecosystem of products that are bringing adoption, people that are non-crypto native to crypto utilities. So we'll be talking about that, how do they aim to do it. We'll have a tiny 4 minutes, 3 minutes round for questions if you might have. So yeah, get set up. Let's have seats, gents. Oh, I forgot Jamie. Can I have Jamie as well, please? Jamie from Vulcan. Yeah, let's have this chair. Okay, I'd rather stand. Big chair for the big guy. We'll need a lot of mics. So we'll not allow Rob to speak because he ate up 4 minutes, 4 minutes of 5 minutes of our time. Great, thank you guys. Okay, and each answer we'll try to cap it in 1 minute. So we have a clock ticking there so that we can cover mostly everything from adoption to technology, right? And we all understand that better than anyone, that these are big subjects. So quick introductions, please, guys, and a little about your company as well. Let's begin from Mustafa.
Good morning, everyone. This is Mustafa Baltaj, and you see the name Niazi Yilmaz here on the screen. I'm here on behalf. I'm the CEO of Global Operations at Bitay, which is the third largest crypto exchange in Turkey.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Marwan. I'm the CEO of Vanilla Network, and we have a staking gaming platform, and we want to expand it to a metaverse NFT game.
Hello, my name is Waqas. I'm the founder and CTO of Aqar Chain. It's the first regulated decentralized marketplace for tokenization of real estate assets. And we have a DeFi angle on the project with the native utility token. We are basically tokenizing the real estate asset and providing crowdfunding and fractional ownership.
Hi, my name is Ben El-Idrisi. I'm COO and co-founder of iMedis, and we are building an ecosystem in healthcare.
Rob Charles, founder and CEO of Goldfinger, with the first virtual mastermind and global investment club.
I'm a CEO, Jamie Thompson of Vulcan Forged, quite a large game studio, making the other way around from gaming to blockchain, as opposed to the other way around.
Okay, I accept it was too harsh. People are losing energy. It's like too quick an introduction. Guys, you can use more time. And yes, I do accept these are sophisticated businesses already They're not your average startups who are trying to venture out into decentralization just because it's a hyped up market and trying to capitalize on tokenization. These are working businesses that some of them are already doing millions in dollars. In fact, a few tens of millions in dollars of revenue, and only exploring tokenization in the real virtue of decentralization utility. So guys, we'll try to catch up with the energy. It was too sophisticated. Let's still play with the energy of Michael Gordon that was established in the opening of the event. A little, sorry, I won't use this word again because it was too little the last time. Let's touch up quickly upon the blockchain utility and the token utility of your businesses, and how does it affects adoption? How does it brings adoption? How does it attracts adoption in real terms? Jamie.
Yep, sure. Actually, a lot of you were sleeping when I did my presentation at 9 o'clock this morning, but I'll rehash what we said. I mean, for us, obviously, as we said, we're moving from the gaming world into the blockchain world. The NFT market and the blockchain market is just, it's pure utility. And one thing I did say this morning is that even though the sort of the markets go up and down and around, our NFTs and our volume is only increasing. I mean, it seems to be a literal correlation between the amount of users we're onboarding with the amount of volume that we're producing, and of course, revenue and profits within our marketplace and our games. So yeah, that's how we're integrating blockchain, is simply through assets and entertainment and use cases, which I think is going to be one of the first real decoupling of other crypto tokens.
Rob?
Sure. So to reiterate and dive down a little bit what I was talking about before, most people, I mean, we've been in crypto since pre-ICO, meaning crypto deals coming through, investors coming through Goldfinger. And what you have to understand is, and also based originally in New York City, that majority of people, especially in the United States and the West, they don't understand crypto at all. So we have to make it really, really simple for them. They don't understand necessarily how to set up a wallet or how to invest, or they don't understand how the whole thing works. Well, in order to do that, we can't just have the whole crypto community by itself. We have to integrate this into, especially capital. You have to get large institutions to come in, put in, which is happening now, but it has to be simple for them and make it really, really easy. And the same thing with the issuers. Most of the people, they don't understand crypto. So, it has to be made very, very simplified and with a few clicks. So that's our approach.
And how does the token help here?
Well, our token basically would, first off, anything that uses within our mobile app, it has to be used with our token. Any type of, whether it's gamification, whether it's buying a service, or in all the different revenue streams that we have. In addition, our token is actually launches from our token all these other tokens with a couple of clicks in our launchpad.
Great. Ben, please. And I'll get the Goldfinger in place in the meanwhile.
It's a good question. We are not a blockchain company. We've been in the space of healthcare before blockchain. So, but of course, we've seen the opportunity to upgrade our system and grow our services, including blockchain. So we had discussions, especially in Europe, in the Western world, with GDPR and data privacy issues, where we came to the conclusion that blockchain, first of all, can offer transparency, for example. So on our platform, you can always track who accesses your data, who makes changes to your entries, to the data that is existent in healthcare space. So this is a very important issue, first of all. I mean, we all use Facebook and whatever kind of platforms, and all of them telling us that our data is safe and isn't used for something else. But we all know that it is, right? So it was proven. So of course we were thinking about this, and this is a form of transparency that we offer to people that use our platform, that they have transparency. For every change, for every access on the accounts, there's a transaction ID generated, stored on the blockchain. So you can look it up, you can see if somebody was on your account, has changed something. And of course, there are other very important things that we use the blockchain for. For example, that we store vaccination passes. We grow a medical social platform at the moment that will grow organically.
I have a question.
Yeah.
With the vaccination passes, do you think there's a blockchain in actually anywhere, a blockchain utility around vaccination passes?
Yeah,
I think
actually,
that's a fantastic utility.
Yeah,
Right.
actually, there are 2 or 3 projects that are heading towards such kinds of things, and it makes a lot of sense. We have also services like authentication passes. Means doctors and hospitals and institutions that work with us have, of course, to authentify themselves. They send us the certificates and everything that we need to work with them, make it officially. These are things that we keep on the blockchain as well. So we have also, as said, a very interesting project in our opinion, and a very unique project as well is the medical social platform that we are growing. Means that we incentivize people to share their lifestyle and health information, their, let's say, their experiences with specific conditions with other people, because we got to know that. And I mean, I was working 12 years as a doctor in infectiology and internal medicine. And I know that we have a specific approach towards diagnosis, and we have in Germany, we call it a gold standard. You know, we associate diagnosis directly with a certain treatment pathway. And after releasing our first version of the platform, we approached collectives of people. We approached patient groups and asked them about their interest in such kind of solutions. And in these discussions, we realized that these groups of people that share specific conditions for years and years have a pool of information that is not used up to now, not from science, not from governments, from anyone, and a very valuable pool of information that really made us think that this is something that we have to bring not only the professionals, but also to other people affected. So we are growing a platform where those people can, for example, create videos, podcasts, whatever kind of information, share that with other people. We have a governance model to evaluate the quality of content.
I mean, it could have been really cool if all these vaccine providers were using a blockchain platform like that of yours. We would have all the reasons to trust them. We would know without the names, with absolute privacy in place, which vaccine has been tested at what levels, and the human trials and the animal trials.
Actually,
could have been an amazing use case.
Actually, we are onboarding several pharmaceutical companies. We had one project with Novartis going on, and we are speaking with Amgen for projects, and Pfizer as well. So yeah, there's a huge interest. And
let me know which one works, because we'll get another shot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wakas, usually, so I've lived through the wave of 2016, 2017, when we were talking about billion-dollar properties, like literally billion-dollar properties. One of the real estate pieces in the 6th Avenue that I heard was getting securitized and was ready to, roll out the security token, and hence the token owners were supposed to receive rentals. And similarly, something I was working with one of the lead real estate companies in London, and they were securitizing a $3 billion property. So I know, I mean, it goes against your project, but we know we're all here to create that change. And like this entire securitized properties hype sort of went and vanished in the bear run of 2019-20, right? And here you are again with a security token around real estate in the not so western part of the world, right? With a splash of 3,000 plus properties. Why do you think it will work? I know it's a brutal question, but I know you're equipped enough to face it.
Right. So true. I mean, in fact, we also started during that same hype of tokenization during the early 2018s, when 17s, when actually the real hype of what we see about NFT today was about tokenization at that time. Now, if you also see most of the projects at that time, which actually all started, they all went ahead and were tokenizing large value real estate properties. And they always and the real concept or the real ideology when we talk about tokenization is you're actually creating fractional ownership. And for that part of business, in the conventional world, you always have the REITs, you always have the institutional investors, you have always have the HNIs actually pulling in money for those kind of investments. So in reality, probably tokenizing a 500 million or 100 million or a $200 million property really didn't make much of sense for retail or for a fractional ownership kind of a project. Also, at that time, the major setback at that time even we faced was regulations. There was no one to govern, there was no one to regulate, there was no one to tell you that, you know, this is the minimum ticket size or maximum ticket size and how in reality or eventuality it should have been done. So over a period of these last years, we've been tested over time and tested with regulators as well. So we've come up with a project, or rather our product basically is where we are doing basically two things. We are digitizing real estate and we are tokenizing real estate. So when I say digitizing real estate is because this is the only industry right now which is actually not digitized. The only thing that you see digital in a real estate industry is the property listing. Everything else is predominantly still manual labor work. It takes time, you take days, you have different third parties involvement, and it is a time consuming process, and it's not a swift transaction at all. And we were able to do this is because we were lucky to be in this part of the world where Dubai Land Department has actually taken all the title deeds and land records and put it on the blockchain. So the beauty is that we see this as a growth and we see this as an opportunity where we ourselves are regulated in DIFC, who eventually have a regulated license, and it's not a sandbox, but it's actually a regulated license for crowdfunding in real estate in collaboration with DLD. So when we onboard a customer and when we onboard a property details, when you upload the documents, these documents we can easily verify on the blockchain on how genuine these documents are. Then we do an individual KYC, and then we have a self-tokenization platform. So what we're doing is we're trying to go into the real properties. We are trying to get into the real use cases where masses can actually fractionally own properties. I mean, I may want to own a property, and it could be my dream to own a property in Burj Khalifa. But can I really own one at that point of time, or currently? No, maybe no. So, you know, but I can still own a fractional of that property. So in reality, we're creating a mass product. We're creating a product where the tokenization actually has fractional ownership. There's real ownership to it, and we are regulated in sense of we have each and every steps and processes actually been guidelined and derived from DIFC in that matter of fact. And in the long run, we also have an option to use the fintech hive and bring about new innovations and scale up the project to more avenues. In fact, right now we are only probably doing residential and freehold, but yes, next phases and future potential would be to get into hospitality and retail as well. And then it would be much more easier for us to do larger volume, larger value transactions actually.
Your thing about owning Burj Khalifa fractionally reminds me of Dogecoin, where, oh, I can't own a full Bitcoin, I can definitely own a Dogecoin. So, so it's like, I own Burj Khalifa, you know, fractionally.
Yeah,
$1 worth of Burj Khalifa.
Well, I mean, even the meme coins have their own roadmap. So, I mean, not going in that direction, but yes, the idea is to actually help the masses. I mean,
Definitely.
yeah, that's the real idea.
Mauran, again, a brutal question, and I think this panel is about that. And I know how equipped all of you are with your project. So there are, I won't say there's a whole bunch of metaverses coming up, but there's still a few. How do you think? Do you think you still have a chance? Do you think there's space for more? Do you think is just the beginning, or is the end of more metaverses? And I'm asking that question especially because you guys are seasoned in terms of games. You have a living community. You've already delivered a full gaming project, right? Why another metaverse?
Well, there is room for it for sure because there are not so many metaverse, and I think really it's the beginning at the moment. And as you said, our community, we have a very strong community. So with our staking platform, you could already see that there are like 70% having staking in the pool. But if it's about the metaverse, I think there's definitely more room for it, and especially the genre we do, the storytelling of our game is it's quite unique. I should say because it's more GTA style, urban style. So I think people will really like it because they are more connected with the real world, and they have also the possibility to play games, casino games in the platform. So I think definitely this is just beginning, and expect a lot.
It's like a metaverse of universes of games, is something like that. More games inside the game itself.
Exactly. So you have a Sin City, the city where you can play the casino. You can imagine it as a lobby you enter, and you have two doors. So you can the door for the casino
So
games.
it's a bigger arena for more games to collaborate.
Sorry.
It's a bigger arena for more games to collaborate.
Exactly. So there's also possibilities to collaborate. I mean, Vulcan. I met
just
Jamie.
about to pass you to Vulcan.
Yeah,
Vulcan, Jimmy, you have questions for him. You have questions for him.
I don't know. I've talked to him a little. He's been my pal on this journey. I came here alone. I've teamed up with the Vanilla Network for the whole week for company. No, they're great what they're doing. And regarding metaverses, is there room for it? I don't even think that's a question. I don't think they've even started yet. I mean, we have, if you compare metaverses to search engines, we're at the Ask Jeeves stage, or the Lycos stage. I mean, virtual worlds as these guys are doing, and I know they're moving more into sort of the casino, sort of the sports area. I think that's it hasn't even started yet. Obviously, we're doing more fantasy, virtual world kind of things. But sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay. Because I think there's, like I said before, there's a lot of room for metaverse, and we expect a lot from our side of the games, the casino games. As I said before, there's like a lobby which you can enter one room for the casino game to play, have the Sin City, and in the other door you can enter and you can play the games, the Sin City-ish, GTI-ish way of playing the game, building your empire. So,
I think you should fractionally tokenize some of the properties for Aqar Chain. We should have hospitals of AI middays, and you should definitely host some of your events in that arena. This is how we collaborate. Right. So Mustafa, I don't know, you're just way too established to have brutal questions. You have a working product. You're licensed in multiple regions. You have hundreds of millions in monthly volumes on your exchange. What brings you to tokenization? I think that's the question everyone has in mind. When a successful exchange, and especially after the exchange fiasco in Turkey, when almost all of them have been shut down by the government, and you are like one of the couple that's running, still active and has been approved by the government, what brings you to tokenization?
I think, well, comparing to the other panels, I guess my business here is a bit less exciting, I would say. So I think I have every right to be pale and a bit dim here. So, but I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, running a marketplace is something quite a difficult and challenging job, right? Because you have to make sure that there's this sustainable trading. You don't stop the trading, none whatsoever. There's no latency at all. So price discovery is solid. And everything is there, right? And the customers, basically, they're just happy. So on top of, I mean, these challenges, these are basically just conventional, marketplaces, and the exchanges are there for almost 500 years, right? Since the Amsterdam exchange, I guess, back in the 16th century. But the difference is that today the centralized exchanges, I mean the crypto exchanges, so well they have to also combine these clearinghouse services plus custodial services. So this is something quite challenging, honestly, and I think it's a bit of a too much burden for the startups to shoulder. So that's why you have to take it very seriously, honestly. So yeah, a lot of burdens here. So, as you said, yes, we have built this business out of Turkey, and currently we have around 700,000 KYC registered users and several $1 million daily trading volume. And we have the highest number of crypto listings, and they are quoted against Turkish lira and USDT. And we have come to a point that I think, well, since we have achieved this thing with this track record, as well as this technology fully in-house, right? All these, wallets fully built in. So why don't we basically do it in other places? That's why we have acquired, crypto licenses in different jurisdictions in the EU, for example. So the idea is to make sure that we have this, sort of muscle that could be, placed in countries where we can also, replicate our operations, the one that we have done already in Turkey. So that's why we are moving everything to this, European jurisdiction with this Estonian crypto license, and also with this, local operations towards our locally registered companies in Eastern European countries, so to say Romania, Bulgaria, and Poland is definitely one of them. And we are looking into the Central Asian markets, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and India. We are also starting off. And also some of the MENA markets, the big ones with the huge potential, I would say. I mean, whenever we look into the markets, we look into one thing, that the market should be untapped. I mean, the saturated markets are already there and the big guys are already there. So putting all this together, I'm not going to take too much time of yours. Yes, we have created this track record. This is an EBITDA positive exchange. We have our own profitable business and we are safe. We have never stopped our trading. Our customers are happy. We have everything technology-wise, security-wise, and otherwise. So, but I mean, we need to power this up to make sure that it is available in multi-jurisdictions, multi-countries. So, but in the meantime, we need to offer diversified services and products, right? And the heart and soul of it is having your utility token. Most of the times, the blockchain projects, they start with their token sale. This is what we have seen since the ICO times. But we are basically following the reversal way, in a way. So we have created this business. Now we are into the ecosystem building part. So that's why we will have our own utility token. And that token is going to be the gunpowder of our sort of staking services, DeFi services, NFT marketplace, and all, and plus this, launchpad, and out of Estonia too. So yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah, you don't have to talk about utilities of exchange token. Everybody knows that because recently they have all been mooning. I think the last 3 minutes, and we can exploit a few more of Hadi smiling there. So there's a brainstorming question. Probably the panel is not the best place for it, but I think it is for the heck of it. How do you think this tiny community right on the stage, like of the TDeFi family, where do you think you guys collaborate? How do you think this ecosystem would help you? How do you think without an external collaboration perspective, just the 6 of you sitting here would be able to create value for each other? Can you just, I know it's a random question, but yeah, believe me guys, we don't really talk behind the back. We are rehearsing right on the stage. So the answer could have been so much better if we would have thought about it, but let's do it. And I'm trying to buy more time for these guys while chattering with you.
Sure.
Who would, yeah, great. Let's begin. Rob.
Well, I can't lie. I mean, we're making a Greco-Roman fantasy world with dragons and demons and centaurs and minotaurs. So it might be a tad of a stretch, but I mean, without doubt, I mean, just listening to these guys, when you come to these conferences, you realize how broad blockchain is and how many different kind of projects you can do. It's just, even though people said it again and again, it's like the internet all over again. There's so many use cases, and I can't lie, some of these I don't totally understand, but I can see the benefit of it all. And I think, for me personally, I think just knowing you guys and just being able to support and collaborate whenever we can, it would be wonderful. And yeah, that's all I can say on that.
Thanks. Yeah, I'd like to touch on that. So that's actually what Goldfinger is built upon. We built upon 11 principles, the first being the mastermind principle, which is whenever two or more minds align in harmony, a third mind is created, which is exponentially greater than the sum of its parts. Every major fortune, every successful person, everything like from the history of time has had a mastermind group, right? So, and when I talk to innovators and investors all day, every day for the last 7 years, I hear people that are trying to change the world and they're trying to do it siloed and separately. And a lot of times entrepreneurs are really, really busy. So, but obviously the people on the stage are very connected, but they're also people who are working, separately or siloed. What we're doing is basically bringing in all people and saying, hey, let's work together. We're here as humans to cohabitate and help each other. That's what a lot of people seem to forget. And sharing resources. That's literally how we built Goldfingers. I went around the world and just said, here, I'll give you my network. I'll help you this way. I'll help you. And in return, what I ask you to do is just help each other. So within the right here on the stage, there's probably, I guarantee you, all the resources we need to do anything at all right? Whether it's raising capital or scaling or whatever it may be. And the most important thing to remember with all this amazing tech that's on the stage right here, still humans power everything. Absolutely. It's built on relationships. It's how the world is built, and trust and technology we use technology to make that more efficient and to bring these right people together and be able to communicate and make it more effective. And you can't beat in person, of course, but it's also vetting out and bringing people that want to work together. And in this day and age, what I would say, and in the pandemic, if you're not doing these three things, you're gonna have some major issues. And one is collaboration, right? Another one's innovation. And a third, if you're not doing something that's socially conscious and globally conscious, meaning you're helping the planet and you're also giving back to each other and minority and owned businesses and women-owned businesses as well.
Great. So we are still on the motivation side. I would like to hear about like more thinner and integrational points, if at all. You can simply pass, because that's what a panel is, right? It's a discussion between a few people that might affect and influence others. So Ben, obviously you all deserve a listing on Mustafa's exchange.
Yeah, that's something, yeah, I was thinking about. I mean, it's hard to think about virtual worlds in these cases. I don't know.
If only angels and demons had medical problems.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe offering like patients some access to it when they cannot move. I don't know. So I mean, if a human being feels good and wants to do something, then support it. I mean, why not? But actually, it's quite difficult.
Absolutely.
Actually, I see this as a very diversified group as of now. We come from all different demographic locations, different industries, but creating a common point amongst us, I mean all of us, is that there is a lot of collaborative opportunities which I personally can see as first of all, yes, of course, we are all tied up to the universal asset that we're talking right now is the crypto. So starting from exchanges where all of us can get integrated, then there are different opportunities where probably, because any fractional, for example, if I consider the case of real estate tokenization and fractional ownership, every buyer who's actually coming and buying a security token is well versed with the crypto angle and is understanding a little bit of blockchain over a due course of time, and that person also requires healthcare. So there is customer exchange at certain level. And talking about the metaverse in gaming, why not create a virtual environment, or probably there could be properties which could be virtually fractionally tokenized, and
having your Burj on both the metaverses.
Either ways, yeah. There is a lot of opportunities. In fact, exploring different demographics, exploring customer exchange, probably interoperability, token swaps for customer use cases. We could
airdrops.
Yeah, airdrop. So we could probably have a lot of
I think
options.
Given the overtime, we can conclude that Mustafa stands as the ultimate winner for this contribution thing. we still need that. Do we have any questions before we close? Okay.
With the current situation where there is no really clear compliance
changers in this industry where we like sort of working in an area, still it's gray in terms of government or legalization. Don't you see that as an opportunity, or it's a threat where later on maybe where countries where you operate or where you are registered, they can come and tie your hand or limit your innovation or your products?
I'll take that as in a shot on behalf of everyone. I'm sure you were through the introduction thing, but most of them are super compliant. They're registered token companies in their respective jurisdiction. They are also registered licensed businesses in their respective jurisdictions. One thing that we are very call us a frenetic, but at TDeFi, the first value is compliance. So before we get the projects on board, we make sure that they're super compliant to the respective jurisdiction. Aqar happens to be the most, let's say, in the most tricky situation with compliance because he's securitizing properties, but he just mentioned that he's a DIFC licensed dual token model business, and also all thanks to Dubai and UAE government that they have recently brought crowdfunding to properties on blockchain as well, the records as well. And if there's any input from your side, yeah.
I think we are working in an industry which is the most regulated in a way. But personally, I mean, I'm just talking on behalf of my exchange that we're not afraid of the regulations. To the contrary, we believe that they are the building blocks. Most of the times, the jure, the regulations, they follow what is de facto, right? What is the reality? Most of the times, it happens in most of the industries. But whenever there is this regulation, things will be much more clear. But I don't think they will be, blocking anything. And there's this good, example when there's, licensing for multiple places was available through this, regulation in the EU. I'm sure that you all know that London Stock Exchange was the only monopoly in the UK, for example. And then this startup, it was launched, Chi-X, as far as I remember, it was acquired by Bats afterwards. Only in 2 years' time, London Stock Exchange was this giant with 2,000 employees, basically, with a lot of liquidity inside. In 2 years' time, the whole level playing field was achieved basically by this startup. I think most of the times regulations might be a bit scary, but I believe that they're also, enabling, leveling the playing field.
I agree to that 100%. So with this, we'll break the panel. Huh? In term, okay. In case of bankruptcy, I don't think there's an exit for the equity owners as well. So let's talk before bankruptcy, because bankruptcy in its absolute legality is the exit of the company with the investors doomed. Anyways, even in equity terms, are you talking about a question specific to tokens or? There's never a guarantee for the investors in case of running out in business. That's even in equity. That's what investment is about. It's about risk. Okay, guys, we'll take the rest of the questions. These guys are available for you in the room next doors. Thank you. Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.